high plateau of perspectives. You may see a reflection, you see one sun. Now you see two. One, two. It's not a camera effect. It's a mere perspective of my shades and the angle how the sun hits me. Who knows? Antimatter, matter. How does that relate? Some people would say everything that you experience is based on genetics. Well, I say that's only 50% of the math. Not everything you experience is based on genetics. Everything is based on experience and how you experience, how you interpret. But for that you have organic matter, you have inorganic matter. You have stuff that is in the physical, you have stuff that is in the metaphysical. It depends on how you perceive what that is. Meta, can't touch, not tangible, and physical, tangible. Could be that this is the same thing for the brain. Science has proven that a drawn up object, an imagined object, and the real object in hand for the brain is the same thing as an electrical charge, as in neurological interpretation of the brain of what is real. As Morpheus said, how do you define real? What is that makes that real for you? And that is what leads to what we call the paradigm shift, is that understand that we now have the opportunity to leave the theoretical and the rhetoric of possible outcomes and imagined outcomes and gurus that give you lessons that sound nice and shiny as possibilities and as ifs. Or people talk about downloads. But what use is a download if I can't share that online? What use is an invention if I can't share that, what the abundance that is coupled with the invention that I bring to this planet, give back to the planetary system, to the planetary service? What is the use if I'm hoarding and I'm not giving back? We all know this. Same thing as in security or surveillance. Well, we have begun to allow other faculties to surveil us because we think we need surveillance and we are in danger. Interestingly is that you can now surveil yourself using the internet. You can gather more information than a CIA or NSA by using Google and knowing how to read patterns. That basically dissolves that needing security. Needing the right mind and the right brain and a synchronized brain will lead to that what we would call a paradigm shift. That is a weird topic, but when you hear it, you'll understand. One thing is this: when you form your intent, in mind, body, and soul is convinced of that intent going in a certain direction, well, that'll take place. Every intent, when they say be careful what you wish for, every intent has a consequence. Every wish has a ripple effect to the surrounding environment. We have to learn now the magic that we have acquired and the allowance by spiritual maturity to utilize the magic. Now again, councils and committees of inner and outer cell structures are watching us. It would be preposterous not to watch us according to our violent history and how we fell and how we got manipulated and how all of this came about. There will be another video, which will be a longer video, where we will talk about parasites in humans and nanobacteria, which is often overlooked. And we look at the symptoms and we are very quick to medicate the alarm system, but not the actual cause or the root of the problem. So again, using your brain, does it help you to numb the alarm system or the light bulb that's flashing that says there's something wrong with your body? Does it help to chemically turn off that light bulb while the alarm is actually still ongoing? Use your mind. Use your own intelligence to evaluate what makes sense to you. What is it that has to make sense to you? And then again, we have a lot of systems and a lot of installments in this realm here, Earth, that have become non-essential. Not aware of that they are non-essential right now, but here's what we are going to predict what is going to happen over a certain process and a certain time that you will witness. It's, let's say, people are these little ant type figures, and they're working in their systems, whether it's governmental structures, whether it's regular jobs, lawyers, doctors, and whatnot. So one ant begins to observe the system and begins to feel that there's something wrong with the system and is not in agreement with the system. Well, that ant will begin to respond. Well, the collective will pick that ant up using the internet and respond to that ant. Many other ants will be in response with that ant, and that will create a ripple effect, meaning a conscious awakening will take place by fathoming, understanding, overstanding, understanding, and understanding the full aspects of self, of why you exist and why you're here. Also overstanding that you are the all-seeing eye. You see everything. And the more you are alert, as in Christed consciousness, waiting for one Messiah to return, how about you are it? How about the entire collective is the representation of what the metaphor of holy ones were or are, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, Isa, Muhammad, Pakal Bhutan, the Viking god Wotan, or the Viking god Odin, Zeus. All of these archetypical programs have the same storyline. Once we understand patterns, again, using our own intelligence, adjusting our ways and selves to intelligent behavior, we will also stop disrespecting the people and the pioneers that will bring forth technologies and energies to this planet that will help you to enhance your lifestyle and your living and make it better and make it cheaper and make it more affordable. But you have to be responsible with self, and that all the time. There's no way around of being responsible with self. So in this time, which is we're still having March, which is a pretty rough ride for people to awaken that are still crusted, that still run with non-essential and non-functional programs that need to be shaken off, you will be shook, you'll be ruptured. Also, understand it doesn't make any sense to travel to any places to find healing if it's based on an external intent that has nothing to do with the internal structure. If you know your internal structure, you know which country or continent or place on the earth will call you to collect your soul fragments. Right now, it's time for you to get out of your projections and your ifs, tested. Not everything has to be FDA approved or government approved or sanctioned by cultural programming. It is allow yourself to think outside of the box. Allow yourself to investigate for your own direction, for your own self, what is it that works for you. Maybe the way Mozart wrote music worked for him. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are Mozart and it will work for you. Same as in Bach. Same as a certain training method might have worked for Bruce Lee, but you are not Bruce Lee. You might develop your own training method. So find out where your own frequency is, your own things that work for you. Maybe when you do bodybuilding, working the triceps or biceps works for you a certain way. Develop your own technique, develop your own style. Again, I say there's nothing wrong with finding a coach that can give you the inspiration to show you that you are your own master. You can find these people. Also, watch how these people articulate. How do these people communicate? What's the communication level? What's the level of transparency? How do these people carry themselves? How do they communicate their message to you? Does that help you? Is it applicable? Or does it remain a metaphorical, untouchable thingy in outer space that nobody can touch and ever apply because it sounds so nice? It is up to you and for you to find the tools that you need to master your life, to master 3D, to master living on this planet, understanding yourself. Also understanding when you begin to get into a creation mode, why would you disrespect anybody that is creative? Do I disrespect a restaurant that I do not prefer, where there's food that I do not eat, that I do not prefer? Do I run around and vote for the negative? I don't. Why would I? Remain neutral. What you like is what you go for. What you don't like, if it's penetrating you and if it's coming into your space or workflow or your security or your home or your lifestyle, it is your right to defend yourself and say, I don't want that in my space. But as people watch videos, even when people dislike videos, let's say, I heard a rumor, hopefully this will be true at some point, that YouTube wants more transparency. So no longer will you be anonymous when voting negative for a video. the name will show up, and we'll see all the names of the negative voters, and we will see if they will come back and watch our videos again. So we can take reference and even establish communication with those who disrespect the architect while he's creating something to assist the human race. And what I'm doing here, this video, is free. Labor is an exchange. I always say, when you want apples from the apple tree and you're not the one that's picking the apples, out of respect, pay the apple picker. When I go to the bakery and I buy my bread, well, I pay for the labor for the bread that's being delivered. So where there's product being delivered, I respect the terms and conditions of the seller. I do not operate from lack, and we have to allow ourselves to not operate from lack. So that's an overall topic. Understanding the paradigm shift is understand corruption will also stop when the lack, the projection of lack that I don't have in the future. That's why I need something here to have more because I don't have in the future, leading to whatever. Leading even to illegal situations, which we don't like. Then you dance the dance of the draconian dance, which we don't want to participate in, that draconian alpha draconis tango. Meaning, you don't have to resort to illegal actions, risk getting caught, putting your family and everybody else in danger for certain actions for you to gain more because you think in the future you don't have. Because again, that shows you your mind state is that you think you're operating out of lack. A thief operates out of lack because he takes something from a hole that has produced something because he believes in his belief system that he can't afford it any other way. But the magic is the magic of your intention and the purity of that, and keeping that within your maturity, that you can acquire and attain anything that you want. You can shift and change anything. Wherever you are, you're gifted. Every breath that goes in and out of you is a gift. Everything that is given to you is gifted. On a side note, people that want to contact me, I'm overwhelmed by the email response, but I thank you so much. I can't respond to everybody, but you can find me in the Google forum, the Azenders. Just sign up, it's free, and see what people have to exchange. It's like a platform for thinkers, a think tank, an alliance of science and scientist hubs where I want people to use their brain, actively participate in changing this environment and making it so, and showing progress. As I'm working on my progress, first I came with the aluminum pill container that I had, labeled with a hologram as the raw key. Then I changed the process. I brought the Gammatron key, which in the future I will do Gammatron teachings of 22 interdimensional frequencies that I have received that are even playable, and you can even create images with these. I will have these translated into water images in a cymatic effect to show you a logos of what that actually looks like in the water body once these frequencies are accessed. So that shows me that once I use my mind, my intuition, and my studies, of course, not the usual studies, it's more like what is it that my higher self highlights and maps out, and that same thing works for you. You run through the street and all of a sudden something pops up. Something comes to your attention. Well, map the thought that you had before and map what just came to your attention. That is your higher self advising you in which direction you are going, and here to assist you to help promote your ascension. And again, ascension is an ongoing process. It might never end. So there's not just one day where these things happen. Same thing with disclosure. You are disclosure. Do not wait for your government to say, well, here they are, here they land, let's say hello. That is very old paradigm thinking. Allow yourself that contact is taking place all the time. Every night you get picked up. It's just a level of when are you aware enough to understand where you are being taken to, and wake up on a ship when you realize that, or wake up in these rooms or holographic constructs that they project to understand who you are. And on that note, happy further ascension into this new year, which is a phenomenal year and phenomenal energies. And you are a phenomenal being. You are wonderful. And you make that ever so, ever flowing, super powerful that I can share this with you on YouTube or wherever you are. God bless and namaste. See you on the flip side.